In this video, I'm going to show you how to build a profitable and predictable Amazon business this year in the next 3 to 5 months. You may be already selling on Amazon and for some reason you can't seem to just scale exponentially. One month you have a good month and you have a bad month. Some months you have products to sell, other months you don't, you can't source, you don't have an actual business behind it. So what I'm going to do in this video is explain to you the things you should implement right now if you actually want some sort of consistency, predictability to help grow your Amazon business long term and actually do this for a very long time, right? I don't think you want to start a business and only sell for a couple months or a couple years. You probably want to do this for years and years to come. And if you're going to take the online arbitrage route, which in my opinion, if you're a new seller still and you're still trying to get your feet wet and really scale to several 5-figure profit months, then this would be the easiest way to do so, but you have to do it the right way. So in this video, I'm going to show you again how to do that, right? I'm going to show you the straightforward daily activities that made me $150K profit my very first year selling on Amazon. I'm going to show you how you can implement these activities inside your busy daily routine, right? Regardless of your time. I know a lot of people have jobs, they have families, right? This also, there's obviously that takes priority, and there's different things you need to, put your time towards. But even if you have a very busy schedule, if you can implement these steps, you won't have to necessarily work nearly as much on your business as maybe you would in the beginning. But nonetheless, I'm going to show you how you can implement these inside your busy daily routine, and then also give you like a timeline for how long it'll actually take for you to become successful with this business if you actually go ahead and implement these. Now, I'm going to tell you my secret that allowed me to control my income and pursue Amazon full time, right? Because I started this, I used to work at GNC, and right, I did it out of my house. This out of the garage right here. We got packages in the house too. This is in the garage getting prepped. This is a bunch of stuff just getting delivered to the house. Crayons, used to really rip through crayons, and you see right here, this is my very first year selling in 2022, May, 10K that month, and by February we were already at 120K, and also between February to March, right around this time right here, we had 140K within a 30-day period. And again, all of this was predictable. I knew I was going to hit over 6 figures in revenue that month because of the secret that I'm going to tell you, and the thing that I was able to control the month prior, or should I say 2 months prior, right, when I was stuck right here at around these months, and I just quickly doubled it pretty much instantly just like that. And the secret to that was the importance of having a very wide catalog, but also the importance of having a daily spend goal, right? The only reason I hit this was because I set in stone that I want to hit 100K. Okay, I just got some additional funding. I got a loan from Amazon back when they still did those. Got a loan. I said, okay, I'm going to put this into good inventory stuff that I was already selling, because again, I had this nice wide catalog here that I could go ahead and actually buy inventory with because of these systems I'm going to tell you in this video. And I was able to go ahead and hit that number, right, the following month, and continue to scale from there, right? This is the importance of having predictability, is you can do things like this, right? Versus you might be stuck right now. Maybe you haven't even started Amazon yet, but you want to do it the right way, or maybe you've already been selling for a little bit. And again, like you've been doing it for a year, you're on and off, and it's because you don't have the systems. You're always still chasing the next lead. Okay, here's what you're going to want to implement for your business. So in order to produce, let's just use the sum 50K a month in revenue, right? Let's use 50K. It's pretty easy. You would need to go ahead and spend right around 25 to 30K on profitable products. So number one, you need money. Number two, you need the products to spend that money on. And then you also need systems, so you're not in the trenches all day, right? I told you guys, if you're busy all day working, right, you don't want to be in the trenches all day looking for products. You want to have a system behind it. Now, please keep in mind, Amazon is not a get rich quick scheme at all. You're not going to get rich next month, 2 months, 3 months, not even 5 months, right? This is a long-term play where if you can build this business correctly right now, within the next 8 to 12 months, you will have that, the fruits of your labor flowing. You should never expect to just dump 30K into product. Even if you have unlimited money in the world, you shouldn't expect to dump 30K into products your very first month, because you have to learn how to find the products. You have to get access to the products, and it's not as easy as just, hey, I have 30K, buy product. That's not how it works, and I'm going to show you why that's not going to work here in this video as well. So now that we know that, we need the money, we need the products, we need the systems. I also want to show you that this does in fact work, because it doesn't just work for me, right? You can see my numbers and how I was able to scale up, but also Maria over here, this is, I believe, her fourth full month doing this. February was her biggest month worth of growth, lots of milestones hit. She had 30K goal, well exceeded her margin goals. She hired a VA, which is going to be one of the systems I talked about in this video that really made a huge difference. She also has people helping her with her prep. So realistically, she's not in the trenches anymore doing this, and she has the systems in place to really scale up her revenue now, right? She did 30K this month. I can only imagine what she's going to do in March, and in June, she's going to continuously keep scaling, because again, she has the ability to right now because she's been doing it and she has the systems in place, but it wasn't like she could her very first month. And you shouldn't expect to do that your first, second, or third month either. You should build the systems in place first to allow you to do that. And a good example of another person doing this is actually Damien. Did $82,000 this previous month in February. He's been with me since, I want to say, June of last year. So it's been about maybe eight to 10 months now, and he's now been able to take what he's learned, compound that, reinvest his money, and now he's been able to scale that up. Again, same exact thing working with the VA. They're actually buying, they do their own prep, him and his family, and right, they're buying this rig to prep products quicker, like a poly bag thing where you can put products in, it poly bags it for you. So just nonetheless reinvesting in his business because he knows the scalability of it. But again, he has the systems in place to be able to do that, and that's what I'm going to tell you in this video. That's going to allow you to also scale similar to this, right? And here's a more realistic expectation of what you should be shooting for your first month, because this is Mark's actually second full month. So the first month was kind of like figuring things out, learning, ungating, all that kind of stuff, and the second actual month of sending products in, right? You can see right here, working every night, sourcing, packing after the kids are sleeping. Very, very, very busy schedule here. Very rewarding to see the hard work pay off. The hard work will pay off. It's just a matter of going in there, realizing that it's going to take some time up front, and you can also see results like this. But again, he has a full-time job. He has a family. He has to obviously be with them. You know, it's not like this is his only focus. It's just Amazon. He has a life outside of it. So again, even with a busy schedule, you're able to go ahead and implement this. And I know for a fact that Mark's going to scale up his store exponentially as he continues to keep implementing these, because a couple of the systems you can implement pretty much right away, but the other one actually takes a little bit of time to really play itself out. So I'm going to really dive deep into that too and what that looks like. So I want to go over some risky models, because this is what you probably are doing. You're one of these three right now if you're still struggling. You're either an RA clearance seller, you know this isn't scalable, you know it's extremely unpredictable, and you're working really hard for less reward. Okay, maybe you're making more ROI, but you know it's not scalable. You're right, you know it's unpredictable. You have good months, bad months. You're probably stuck in this boat right here. You're just going to like grocery outlet, or if you don't have a grocery outlet, you're going to Ollie's, or you're going to TJ Maxx, scanning some sketchy beauty products that you're probably gonna get an IP complaint for, or you're probably gonna be gated and you're not gonna be able to sell it, and you're stuck. You have no idea what to do, right? Risky model. This is something that we don't want to be doing if we want predictability. Okay, but the other risky model is actually the OA Chad. That's what I'm going to call it, the OA Chad. The OA Chad has 5 to 10 replens. All their money is tied up in one brand. They have zero systems in place, and the business can literally break in a moment. The moment a brand decides to get regated. We saw this happen like absolute crazy. I made a video on this last year at the end, right around November time, where everyone got regated in Nike, and people's whole business models were just Nike, and people had multi-six figures locked up into inventory. I had people telling me they had multi-six figures locked up. What do I do? I'm like, Don't look at me. I have no idea. I mean, Amazon decides to do things all the time, so you cannot have all your eggs in one basket like the OA Chad. It can work great. You can make a lot of money, but it is very risky. Okay, and again, I know people that make a killing with it, and that's fine. It does work, but in my opinion, it's just so incredibly risky. And if you're new or you're still under 10K and you're still trying to get your feet wet, just don't get too caught up in this thinking you only need 5 to 10 replens to make a ton of money on Amazon and have predictability. You're going to be shooting yourself in the foot long term. I can pretty much guarantee you that. Okay, and risky model number 3 is a wholesale advocate. Okay, this is the person that still hasn't even started selling yet. They haven't even sold their first item. They think that wholesale is the only model. They have 50K, they have 100K credit capital ready to run. They think that wholesale is the only way that they can do it. So they spend 10K on some sketchy liquidation palette. They get it in. They realize that they can't even sell the brand. It's hard gated. They can't do anything. And essentially, they failed before they started. Again, we take a lot of calls. I get a lot of people that want to work with me. We get on call and they come in like this and they're like, yeah, I bought a wholesale palette. What do? I can't sell it. I'm like, look, you already failed before you started because you think this is the only way. You think that you can't have a scalable, predictable business outside of wholesale on Amazon, when that is far from false. It's just most people, the way they talk about arbitrage and online arbitrage is not really in a predictable, scalable, sustainable way, which is what I'm going to tell you in this video. Okay, because income, the sustainable arbitrage model, right? The number one thing you need for the sustainable arbitrage model is a product generating system. This is what that system is. It's your replens, right? It's your replens, products that you're buying, consistently restocking on, right? Not all of your products are going to be replens. This is why you have a virtual assistant, because that virtual assistant is there constantly tracking down new items for you to sell, right? That's the other component of it. Now, the third component of it, the one that actually you won't be able to really see the fruits of yet, is the tracking system, right? This is something that you're really going to see play out come month 4, 5, 6, year 2, year 3. This is where old products that you're tracking end up resurfacing because every item on Amazon is very cyclical. Okay, what does cyclical mean? That means that it's profitable for a couple months, then it's not so profitable, maybe it's a loss, then it's profitable again. It's on and off, and that's what you want to see on listings, because this means that it's actually an arbitrage listing. If you see a flat line in price, that means it's not an arbitrage listing, and that is a wholesale, brand direct, private label, and it's something that you as an arbitrage seller don't even want to look into. It's going to be very tough to get your hands on unless you're doing brand direct and you're doing more of like an agency model. Then it's a different story, right? And that's a whole different business, right? That's not reselling anymore. Now we're an agency, we're working brand direct, we're running their PPC, we're making listings for them. It's more than just reselling. And again, that's a much higher level type Amazon, and that's something that you can maybe eventually shoot for. But as a brand new seller that just wants to make $5K a month, $6K a month, $10K, $15K a month, online arbitrage is your easiest path to doing so, but you have to do it in a way that's going to be sustainable, predictable, that you're not going to get screwed over on, like from one of these 3 models right here. And in comes the sustainable model right here. You need to have product generating systems. You have your replens, your VA, these 2 things that you're going to see implemented pretty early on within month 2 and month 3. And then your tracking system right here really takes a heavy load come month 6 as things begin to resurface again. Okay, so here's your different phases that you got to go through. Phase 1, you have to master sourcing. Okay, you can't make anything until you learn how to fend for yourself. You can't hire a VA. You have to learn to do it yourself. Sourcing, analysis. Here is my favorite sourcing methods. Reverse sourcing, that's literally the only method I did my very first year. This is the method that I did this whole entire time. Honestly, even like the year past this is literally the only method I did. It works extremely well, and as a new seller, it is extremely easy to learn, and it's the best thing you should be doing, because you're going to learn new items on Amazon, brands that you can go ahead and begin to sell. Okay, product finders also, that's my favorite one that I use right now. I use that literally, that's the only way I source. That's the way I teach my students to source, is with Product Finder. And there's a lot of different ways you can manipulate, right? We look for listings that have shrinking offer counts. Just one of the many ways you can use Keep a Product Finder. So I highly encourage you to also look into that. It is a fantastic tool. And then hot deals is another way you can source. Again, it's not nearly as sustainable. Now, I will say a lot of deals are also very cyclical, so they run them monthly or bi-monthly, so you can learn the deal cycles, and you can actually replan these items that you get on sale. People think that if you buy an item on sale, it's not replenishable. That is very false. If you buy an item on clearance, that's not replenishable, but items on sale are very replenishable because they run the sales very often. So this is your first phase. You must learn how to source. Now, phase 2, you have to map out your success, and this is where the daily spend goal comes into play, right? And here's a very simple calculation you can make for yourself to determine what your profit goals are and what you need to hit. So take your desired profits, divide it by 35%, so divide it by 0.35 or whatever your average ROI is. I use 35% because this is bare minimum typically that we shoot for. So minimum this, you could probably make more too, right? That's how much you'll have to spend to hit your goal. So let me maybe throw some people off here, and let me just show you what it's actually going to take to make your desired profit. Let's say you want to make $10,000 in profit. And again, please keep in mind, you should not shoot to make 10K your first month. You shouldn't shoot to make 10K your first 3 months, right? It's very tough to do so with a brand new account, but you should expect to eventually scale there and then sustain that 10K profit so you can finally leave your job and pursue Amazon full time, or use it as supplementary income to your already full-time job if you love the job that you do and you're very satisfied there and you just want additional income, like my student Rick, who literally just wants extra money for his boat, right? It doesn't matter. Everyone has their own things that they want and what they want Amazon for. So again, let's just figure out what it actually takes to make 10K. We will take $10,000, our desired profit, and we're going to divide that by 0.35. That's the average, ROI. That would be right around $28,500 you would need to spend on inventory at a 35% ROI to make your 10K profit, right? That's after fees. This actually isn't really factoring in shipping, but if you factor in shipping into your seller ramp, then this would be factoring in shipping as you're buying those products. So yeah, just keep that in mind, right? And again, you don't need to shoot that high. Let's just say you want to make an extra $2,000 a month. Okay, well, if you just want to make an extra $2,000 a month, especially when you're starting out to get this thing going, that's about $6,000 you got to spend. Have $6K ready. We can spend that on good products. Get in there, start buying products and scaling up your store. And there you go. There's an extra $2,000. Now, from that $6,000 that you started with, you have an additional $2,000 of that profit. We can reinvest this. And again, let's say we sell through another at 35%. Now you're profiting $2,800. So that $2,000 previously is now $2,800 in profit. Reinvest it again, repeat. And really quickly by month 4, month 5, month 6, you've now gone to a point where that $2,000 initial profit you're making has now turned into $8,000 and plus and so on. And That's how the business works. That's how Amazon works. When you're talking about pretty much any Amazon business, private label too, it's the same thing. Everything on Amazon is capital intensive. There's no such thing as selling on Amazon without having money. You cannot sell on Amazon if you don't have money, okay? You need money for all types of products, doesn't matter what model you're doing. Okay, so phase 3 is systemizing. Now this is systemized part 1. You hire a virtual assistant. Where do you hire them from? You go to onlinejobs.ph. That is the best place to hire. Okay, they are now going to be feeding you leads daily, right? I showed you my leads from last week, right? This is my VA's list. I get leads every single day, products for me to go ahead and buy. Okay, if you have missed that video last week, go check it out. I literally showed you every single lead that my VA sent me. That's what you can expect from a virtual assistant. Now, systemizing part 2 is, again, the tracking the leads part, which you're not going to see fully play out right away, but you're going to use Keepa to do this. They have a track product feature inside of Keepa. You go there and you track literally every single product, right? Products on Amazon are cyclical. They will always, and they'll likely be profitable again, unless they lose a buy box or Amazon comes on or something crazy happens, right? That's the only times that you wouldn't see it again probably play out, but 9 out of 10 times they will eventually be profitable again. So you want to always be tracking these because it's going to be super easy to spend your money as you begin to do this for a long time. Right, so here is a POV of daily tasks. So this is what my task looks like now once I have the systems in place. And this is what you can also expect. Not your first month, not your third month, but maybe month 4, month 5 once you go ahead and implement these. So the first task I do is review my virtual assistants leads. I buy the winners. This takes me about 30 minutes, absolute max. Task 2 is review the products that were alerted through Keepa, right? This usually takes 0 to 30 minutes. Some days there is no alerts, some days there are, and I have to go in there and see, okay, typically I track based on the offer count. So I'm looking at them, okay, it looks like this item has now fallen in offers. It looks like the price is trending back up. I'm at about a 25% ROI, but with the offer count going down, it's probably going to be at about a 30, 40% by the time I get it checked in. Okay, this is worth a buy. And I spend some money there, right? That is the second task. The third task is then replenishing any inventory that's about to go out of stock soon. And again, this usually takes 20 to 30 minutes. And for that, I use Seller Board. I go there, I see what have I sold yesterday. I make sure that the inventory levels there are still healthy, they're still good. And if they're still winners, if they're still good products, and I go ahead and buy some more. And as a result of this, you are hitting your daily spend goal with ease, and you're able to make more profit quicker, right? Remember what we were talking about before? In order to hit that 10K in profit, you need about $28,000 worth of spend, right? 28K. You don't want to spend this all in one day, but you want to spread it out across a 30-day period. So you're spending about $930 a day. If you have this system in place right here, where you're reviewing your VA leads, you're buying old products, and you're replenishing the others, you are easily spending this $933 every single day. And it's taking you maybe an hour, 2 hours max to do that. And that is how you're producing 10K profit. Okay, this is all the back end stuff to Amazon. Obviously, there's more to Amazon, like your repricing. There's other things to manage, but at the end of the day, if you can get this stuff in play, this system in play, everything is already set in stone. Everything else is much easier to manage, and this is like the big bulk of everything, is getting your products into Amazon, good products with this system right here. And again, this is what the daily routine looks like to be able to spend desired numbers to reach my desired profit goals, is with this system right here. Okay, so here's what your daily tasks are after you watch this video. Step number 1 is figure out what your desired profits are. Again, start small. Don't expect to make 10K. Start with $2,000. And if that's the case, then again, you are looking at, let's just say, right around $6K, $5,700 worth of inventory. So you need to spend right around $200 a day. That is literally one product. You can sit down and source every single day, find one product and hit that, and do 2K and slowly begin to implement the VA stuff. Okay, that's step 2 actually. Reverse source till your spend goal, right? Buy 10 and 20 units of the item you find until you hit your goal, about $190 to make that extra $2,000 in profit a month. Okay, track items closely. Now, this is what you also want to do. As you reverse sourcing, you're going to see items that maybe were profitable last month or 2 months ago, but today they're not, right? Look at Keepa's past trend. Maybe it was profitable. Today it's not. You want to track that item because even though you're not buying it today, eventually you might be able to buy it, and this could make your life really easy. And again, later on, month 4, month 5. So make sure you're tracking any item that is under your desired ROI today, but at one point it was profitable, okay? And use Keepa to do that. Step 4, you want to send shipments in often until you're consistently sending 300 units per week. You should be sending in boxes as frequently as possible. Okay, so once you start to send a lot of units, you can then begin to use Amazon optimized shipping. You can use a lot of tools to do this. I use 2D workflow. You can use whatever you want to go ahead and do that, make it easier for you, but you want to use Amazon optimized shipping. If you're watching this video, you're probably not that far yet. Maybe you are, and if you are, DM me on Instagram. I can run you through what that looks like, but yeah, you want to do Amazon optimized. You're going to save on the placement fees, but until you're sending about 300 a month or 300 a week, just go ahead and send them in frequently. Get a box that's worth 50 pounds about right under that threshold and send it in, so you're not relying on Amazon's check-in times. You want to get inventory in very, very fast. All right, get seller board, reanalyze your sales, scale out your winners, track your losers. Don't forget to do that, right? This is what we use seller board for. This is what we're going to use to replen. So anything we sell through, we're going to go ahead and rebuy. Anything that's gone ahead and tanked a little bit or dropped, we're going to track. And then step number 6 is to get a virtual assistant right around the time you're spending about $10K a month. When you're spending about $10K a month, you're making right around $3,000 to $4,000 in profit. And again, this will give you more time to focus on the business and step out of that sourcing role, right? Managing your repricer, making sure you're buying the best possible products. Turning into a business owner, right? This is going to be your first hire, and it's a huge one. Again, if you missed last week's video, go watch it. I literally dove super deep into all this. And at that point, you are rinsing and repeating. You have the systems in place. This is what that allows you to do. Allows you to do this with ease and make as much money as you want, whatever that number is. And again, you just need to do this simple math right here to go ahead and figure out what that number is. Now, we went over a lot of different things in this video. Hopefully you took some value out of this, and hopefully you realize that if you are still stuck in this rat race of these risky models right here, you need to switch. You need to change it up. You have to focus on the business differently. You have to realize that in order to make long-term money on Amazon, this is the only path to do it if you're going to do arbitrage. Now, maybe you've been stuck in one of these 3 models and you want out. You realize that there's no way to go ahead and scale this predictably, and it's risky. And I can promise you that the quickest path to make an additional $4,000 to $10,000 in profit a month on Amazon with any business model is going to be the online arbitrage model, whether it even is this OA chat one, right? That probably is also a very feasible way to get there. But again, it is much riskier. If you want to do it in a way that's sustainable, long-term, predictable, you need a sustainable arbitrage model. Now, I showed you some of my students right here. Again, these guys are just absolutely crushing it. They put the work in, they do what's required to see success. If you are also a hard worker and you would like my personal one-to-one help, there's a link down below. Book in a call. We'll give you a demo of what it looks like for my coaching. I work one-to-one with my students. We sit down, we source, we implement these systems, make sure they're doing it right, look over all their work to make sure they're not making any stupid bad buys that they're going to lose money on, or items that they're going to get IP'd on, issues like that you might not even be thinking about as a brand new seller. Again, I work closely with all my students. There's a link down below. Book in a call. We'll run you through what that looks like. Now, if you need some more help on actually sourcing products and getting there, this video is going to be the simplest way for beginners to go ahead and find products to sell on Amazon. I encourage you to watch it. I'm going to link it down below and right here.